Sit. Good. All right, well, here we are back again today at Animal Training and Development Center. And today I have with me Sugar. And Sugar is kind of new here at the training center. We're working on a service dog project with her and her owner. And they are going to be a team working here and around our area and other places, I guess, if they want to travel. So she's going to be prepared with all the things it takes to be a good service dog. And the first, of course, is a good foundation of obedience. And so basically what we've been working on so far is just this concept that a dog should never get to the end of the leash at any time for any reason. So as I just go ahead and let go some leash and walk away here, what we're looking for is a dog to kind of stay at least close enough to us to where the leash doesn't get tight. And so it's kind of their job to do that. If I begin to gradually just meander around the room here, she can be on my right side as she is now. She can veer over to my left side or just stay on that side if she wants to. She can lag behind a little bit, but not so far as to get to the end of the leash behind me. Oh, good, she caught it. I thought she was just about to do it. If she stayed lagging, my job is to make sure she does her job, and all I'm doing to help her do her job is to proactively tug in the opposite direction she may be going at any time as she gets near the end. So as I go this direction, if she were to lag behind, I would tug forward toward me. In this sense, I might tug in that direction if she were out of position. But as you can see, she's doing a really good job, even though now I've taken up a little bit of slack out of the leash. So let's take even more slack out of the leash and see how she does. So now she only has about a 2-foot length of line that she can work with and do whatever she wants to do while she's on it, but she should stay within that length of line. And this is a type of training that we spend a lot of time doing with the dog in the early phases of their training because it's so vital to a good project in the big picture, and especially when you're thinking about a dog like a service dog. So, with a service dog, I may be out in public and I may even have my back turned to my dog and paying at a register, for example, and maybe something catches my dog's eye from behind me, and I would hate for my dog to try to race after it and pull me and that sort of thing. So we spend a lot of time at this stage in a dog's development teaching it that never get to the end of the leash at any time for any reason, even if they're not in a command mode. And that's why we call it the unspoken command. There shouldn't have to be a word to it because it's a given. If the dog's on a leash, they should never get to the end of the leash at any time for any reason. And that's the general rule. Now, with all rules, there's exceptions to those. And if we had, for example, a person that needed a dog for balance assist, and we were looking for that dog to be trained to pull them up out of a chair, for example, then of course we would have a command to that, and the dog would then be given permission to pull and get that person situated. But in general speaking, and in this case we're not doing balance assist, we're just not looking for this dog to get to the leash and at any time. So dropping the whole thing here, just one more example, even from the down position, you can see she could be even asleep and she should be aware enough of me that they don't get to the end of the leash at any time for any reason when they're on leash, okay? So, obviously the leash comes off and she doesn't have to have that kind of focus, but for the time that we are training a dog and the leash is on, we're looking for that. Next thing is just a simple sit command. Sugar, sit. Good. Sit means sit and keep sitting till I tell you to stop sitting no matter what happens while you're sitting. Now you can say stay here if you like. I have no problem with that if you're comfortable saying it, but what I don't want to see is people that say stay, 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 stay. You know why? It sounds like blah, blah, blah. There's no meaning to it. No. And you can see she was like, what was that all about? Sit. When I teach sit, it means sit and keep sitting till I tell you stop sitting. No matter what's happening while you're sitting, But the way I tell her she can stop sitting, I give the release word, okay. Okay means you can stop sitting, do whatever you like. I like to see them come to me, get a little reward, just physically, emotionally, verbally sometimes, and once in a while maybe even a treat. But we don't use a lot of treats at this stage in the training because I want to keep it about connection, something that you have with you everywhere you go. As a service dog team is your voice and your hands for praising. And if you're using a lot of treats, there's a lot of reasons, to get away from that. Mainly that, if you're running low, I guess you're running low on obedience too. This is more about relationship, and you can see she's doing a great job with it. Okay, good girl. Back to the command sit. Sit. If you don't say stay over and over again, she should still sit. Good. Good girl. Very nice. Even if I walk the other direction, good. Good. And even as we build through other levels of distraction, stay tuned. Okay. Good girl. Now, we're going to see sit. Can she hold a sit even as I bounce a ball in front of her? No, sit. Better angle. Sit. No, sit. No, sit. Good. No, sit. No, sit. No, sit. No, sit. Good. Good girl. No, sit. No, sit. Okay, good dog. Until I give the release word. It's the first time we tried the bouncing ball. And so she actually did a pretty good job with that. You got to have decent timing to practice this at home. It took me a while really to be able to bounce a ball, make good correction on a leash at the same time. So be patient with yourself as you're learning, or better yet, if you have two people, one can hold the leash, make sure the dog holds the sit, another could bounce the ball, and then you could time it. You could say, all right, now maybe give a little nod, and as you bounce the ball, then the person can say okay at that same moment, thus giving the dog permission to have the ball. And what I love about that style of training is it's on one hand a very high level distraction that the dog has to work through and not react to, and then at the same time it's a high level reward because after they're done they get the ball. So see. Good girl. All right, well the next thing we work on is the heel command, and this is the command that I think is the most important of all commands that we train a dog to do, no matter what their later life job is going to be. So when we teach the command heel, it's a very precise position in relationship to our body. In this case, we're training her to be on our right side, and in the correct position, her left paw should fall in line with my right foot, almost step for step. She shouldn't be too close to me or too far away. She shouldn't be too far behind or too far ahead. She'd be focused on me every step of the way. Heel. And so let's see if we can show you. Good. If you ever feel like you can't go the direction that you're trying to go, in other words, if she's crowding you to the right as you're turning right, all you're doing is saying the word N-O, and as you do, no, heel. You're just pulling her just slightly off of you. There we go. Stopping. We should get a nice automatic sit. Really important that we teach that automatic sit because let's say you're coming to a cash register at a store or somebody on the street, getting your dog in that sit position focused on you allows for you to converse and do what you've got to do without her trying to be right up in everybody's way. And so we teach that nice automatic sit. We're trying to get a little fancy with her if we can, in the sense that I don't want a dog just listening for my commands, but sometimes I'm talking to somebody, and at the same time I'm talking to him, I need my dog to fall into the heel position as we maybe go through a store together. Just by leading with my right foot, we're training her to get up into that heel position at that same moment. And then what I'm doing, no, sit, is I'm training her that when I lead with my outside foot, my left foot in this case, that she should maintain her position in the sit or whatever position she's in at that time, in this case, the sit. So again, outside foot, there we go. Good job. That's right. Good. And then inside foot. There we go. Nice. Good. Now she's in that really nice heel position. And when she gets really good at this, she's going to be great for, navigating through tight spaces in the store together. There are times where maybe it gets so narrow that, like at Menards, they have that little spiral walk-in thing. In that case, what I would do is I'd have her sit and then lead with my outside foot, go through there, and then we would just tell her okay, and then she can come through. And so these are kinds of things that we think ahead of in terms of public access training. So we want to make sure that we're getting ahead of that already in our foundation, building some of these basic concepts. So the next one, of course, is to come when called. Come. We want a dog to learn to come and sit right in front of us like so. Good. You could teach them to come and stand. We're working on stand. Good. Stand is a great command, especially once we start working with putting the vest on and off, which we don't do until we get into the next phase of her training. We'll start to introduce her what we call training service dog vest, which says service dog in training. And at that point, we're going to start to put together this foundation that we're laying now with real practical public access training that's going to allow for us to really get to the next level. At Animal Training and Development, we promise your dog will train through trains. Good girl. Good job, Sugar. Okay, good girl. There we go. Good dogs. Good dogs. Yay. Was that fun? Did you have fun?